nko kugura nk'akamatora nk'akaryamira nkagura akaringiti nkiyorosha, ibyo byose ni ubukene nta na kimwe ngira ubwo urabyumva.
Of course, fear does not automatically lead to courage. Injury does not necessarily lead to insight. Hardship will not automatically make us better. Pain can break us or make us wiser. Suffering can destroy us or make us stronger. It is resilience that makes the difference. He is called innocent. It is hard to believe, but he is 60 years old. Life for him has not been something that he refers to as good because of the situation that he is living in, or what comes his way each and every day. Innocent doesn't know his family. He thinks that they threw him away once they noticed that he was born disabled. But again, he does not know his real story since no one has ever told him about who his parents are or where he was born. He kept on moving from one house to another, asking for food, and this is how he was surviving, though it was not as easy as it sounds. One day, he met this lady that was kind enough to take him in, though it is getting more difficult as time goes by. One day, he was walking at night, something strange happened to him, and he turned out being like this. Since he could not afford seeking for treatment, he decided to live with this forever, and this is his story. Innocent doesn't know how he looked like or the condition he was in when he was born. He completely has no idea since no one ever tells him. All that he remembers is that he started understanding and figuring out things when he was a baby on the streets begging for money. Before he started taking care of himself, obviously, someone was feeding him and doing all that has to be done for a baby. He doesn't know who this is to, but he thinks that it is his parents. On the streets of this village is where he learned everything he knows. He grew up having in mind that whenever he sees a smart person, the first thing he would do was to ask them for money. He wasn't shy when he was doing this at all. Along the street that he always used to sit while begging for money, people got used to him. Honestly, they couldn't give him money anymore, and as young as he was, he noticed that he had to do something about this, or else he was going to starve to death. Innocent came up with an idea of moving to people's houses, house to house, while asking them if there were any leftovers from the meals that they had. He knew that this was going to work, and he immediately got going. Innocent knew that he was supposed to have perfect timing, and he would move within these homes during lunch hours or a few minutes later. This worked for some homes, but others would chase him away while calling him a thief and other disrespectful names. One day, while he was walking looking for food, something happened, and this is the reason why his legs are like this now. It was that day that life got worse than it had been before, because after then, he could barely walk. Innocent never forgets that day. It was at night around 2 p.m. when he was moving in different homes, begging for food just like he used to. This was one of the days that he didn't get anything since morning, and he was terribly hungry. He came to this home and called out if anyone was home. Upon looking at him, they immediately started screaming while calling him a thief. He had to run for his life, and they had to release dogs to run after him. Innocent had to run as fast as he could. As he was running, he fell down, and since it was night, he still does not know what he fell onto that made him look like this. But again, he was not surprised because his bones were soft, though he never expected anything like this. He had to go to the hospital, but he couldn't afford to. And since getting food was also a serious problem to him, he thought and had in mind that paying the hospital bills was impossible. He then gave up and decided to live with this forever. He was a grown man now, and walking was not easy at all. One day, he came to beg food at her home, and by then, she was still a very young girl. They listened to his story and took him in, and also decided to let him have a home with them. She is called Beretirida. She was a young girl when Innocent came to live with them. She grew up, turned into an adult, got married, and had kids. They are still living with him because he surely does not have anywhere to go.
naze mu rugo twibanire napfa uwapfuye nta buri kimuhamba azahambwa na leta iriho ubwo sibo mwana muzana gutyo araza turabana aho ndi aho nashatse umugabo ikibayi mu kagari ka kibayi usibo mwana turi kumwe turabana.
He one time tried getting a lady to get married to, but this became impossible. He tried talking to girls, but they all pushed him away since they didn't want to get married to him because of the disability that he was living with. Fortunately, one of them accepted to live with him despite his disability. He couldn't believe that this was happening. He asked her to come and live with him, and she accepted. It wasn't long after then when she finally came. This sounded like a good thing to him and the people he lived with, but to the girl's family, it was not anything good at all. Just after one night when she moved in with Innocent, her entire family came to pick her up while saying that there was no way that their daughter was going to get married to this creature.
Abanaga n'ubwo bumuga ntabwo ari umugabo ngo afashatse ngo wamuhahira wamutunga nubwo nyina hamukuye muri ubwo buryo.
They took their daughter back home, and this was the last day that Innocent ever thought about looking for a girl or even getting married because he had seen it all. What happened then still hurts him until today, and he never wants to do it anymore. He is 60 years old now, and he decided that for the rest of his life he will never get married or fall in love again. This is how he has been living for all these years, and all he thinks about is food and other things that he needs as a person.
Nyine ndamugaburira nanjye nagize icyo mbona ndamugaburira icyo mbonye turagisangira ku myenda yatambuka yahura n'umugira neza akaba yamuha agashati cyangwa akamuha agapataro kubera ko nanjye nta bushobozi ifite bwo kuba namugurira icyo yambara.
Beretirida says that they are not rich, and Innocent needs a lot more than they are able to afford, like clothes, shoes, and more things of that sort, and she would be extremely happy seeing him having them. She says that what Innocent needs right now is a house of his own because he needs privacy, and since there are too many living in this house, this is simply something that they cannot offer at all. He needs a place to stay, and this is what they are asking for today. The funds that will be used to help Innocent get a place to stay or even get basic needs for himself will be donated via Giving Life. A link that is in the description of this video and pinned in the topmost comment by Afrimax English. Suffering is the substance of life and the root of personality, for it is only suffering that makes us persons. Waiting is painful, forgetting is painful, but not knowing what to do is the worst kind of suffering. A man who fears suffering is already suffering from what he fears. Thank you for watching. My name is Prince. This is Afrimax English. Do not forget to subscribe.